Fishing Gurus is brought to you in association with Devon.
Welcome to Fishing Gurus. My name's Macey and it's our third day here at Anglers Paradise. I'm joined today by Ali Hamidi, who's over my right hand shoulder, already bent into fish, and we're going to focus on carp today. So without further ado, let's go over and see how he's doing. Ali, thanks for coming to join us today. I know this isn't your normal cup of tea, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Well, we thought we'd give it a quick start on this lake, catch a few, and maybe move on to one of the bigger carp lakes later on. So, nice start. Hopefully there's plenty more where this one come from.
Well, I haven't even got my rods out, but I'm looking forward to it. Good man.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Now, I love getting a few bites, and if I'm honest, we're expecting a few runs here on this lake. And because of that, I'm going to fish my favourite method, which is the method. The rig couldn't be much simpler. I've got no tubing, no leaders. I've just got a fluorocarbon 12-pound mainline, and I think you need quite a heavy mainline because the method weighs quite a bit when you're chucking it out, and especially when you're hitting the clip. About a foot, maybe 18 inches above the actual feeder. Got a nice big blobber putty just to help that sort of critical zone sink. The method feeder, very, very simple, but these ones are particularly good because you know exactly what side it's actually going to land on the lake bed. But I don't actually bury my hook link. The hook link is only about 4, maybe, well, it probably is 4 inches actually. 12-pound IQ2. I've got a little barrel there, which is a new grain sort of chopped down boilie. Now that actually looks like a pellet, which I think is very, very important. Size 10 mixer hook, and all I'm going to do is mould my pellet ground bait, and I've got a little bit of fish mix ground bait in here as well, 50-50. Mould it around the feeder. Give them a nice big coconut because there's a lot of fish in here, and carp being quite greedy, they'll start mullering into this really, really quickly. Make it nice and solid, and when you're expecting a few bites, like we are today, that is my favourite method. So Ali, I've just shown the viewers my method, which is very, very simple, and in comparison to what I've seen you use, so is that.
Yeah, it is, because you know, I'm coming to this type of venue. The lake we're fishing this morning is pretty well stocked. Yep. So what I'm trying to do is keep it simple, but often some of the simplest methods are often the very best. Yep. So, I mean, just going down to the hook link, I've got hook bait wise just a little one of those micro sort of corns, tipping a little 12mm boilie. Yep. Okay, that'll just sort of balance it a little bit so it sinks, behaves a bit more like a freebie. Yeah. And hook link wise, that's just knotless knotted to a little mixer hook. Okay, it's a size 12.
They're sharp as you like, aren't they?
They are, mate. They go in and stay in.
Yeah, I've really found them useful over the last year.
And you'll actually notice there, because I'm using, this is 9-pound end gauge, okay, and because it's quite a light monofilament, what I've actually done is, before I've gone back through the eye, I've actually gone over the barrel of the knot on the way back up. Right,
so you've whipped down the shank and then you've whipped back a couple of times as well.
Exactly, and what that does, that stops the knot sort of like opening and closing during the fight. And you know, if you're going to sort of bag up and catch 10 or 12 carp in a day, I know people aren't going to do what I do and change the rig all the time. No. So what's going to happen is that's going to wear down during the fight, and they could lose one, and the chances are it's always the best one that drops off in it.
Yeah, so, because unless you've got an out-turned eye on your hook, the mono has got quite an acute angle just through there, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's always rubbing there, so yeah, you want it, you know, you want it doing its job, and that knot does definitely help. It's one I got off Adam Penning actually, showed me that one. Right. Simple trick. Right, let's move up to the lead system. So I've done an overhand loop. in the end gauge there, and that just sort of clips straight onto the quick link.
Yep.
Okay, and then you'll see there, this is a little rig that Thinking Tackle's Danny Fairbrass has used for a number of years now.
Yep.
As opposed to using a swivel jammed into the leg clip, using a quick link, okay? That means two things. You can quickly put your hook link on, but you'll also notice here I've left the long tag end.
Yeah, I wondered what that was for.
Now, that's not been me being untidy. what that actually means is when that goes in there, all right, that sort of pulls in, put the tail rubber on and the lead as normal, okay? So it's all threaded on the line before you tie it on. And now, on pressured lakes, often what we find, we've seen it on loads of underwater footage, fish come up, they take, you know, suck it in, use the lead, shake it off, get the hook out. Now, if that's happening, you often don't know whether it is happening. You know, you think they're lying in some of those
Exactly, yeah, you put it down the liners most of the time.
Well, with this you will know, because they'll shake their heads, that'll come away, and as you reel in, that tag end will be facing downwards.
Right.
You see it?
Yeah, gotcha.
Tiny little bit there, so you know you've been done. All right,
Very
it's a
crafty.
crafty little thing, but it does help. I mean, it can be very frustrating at times because you'd be changing your rig, and every time you wind in, the same things happen. And you know, there's ways to overcome it, obviously, and that's by tweaking your rig, your feeding situation, everything else. And then I've just left about 18 inches there. Nice bit of line. You don't need the tubing and gubbins at the moment. Keeping it nice and simple, and just a little bit of putty there. That pins it all down. And with this lead system, if it does snap, I haven't got that putty on there really tight. That leg clip can hit that putty, and the lead will come off, or the putty will just slide away.
The putty slides really easy. I mean, I've been using exactly the same as that today, and the first thing I've done was test it, and it slides under hardly any pressure whatsoever, so it's dead safe.
Exactly. And then just to finish it off, like most of the sort of small pools with loads of carp that I go to, just clip on a little bag like that, and that's enough just to hone in the attraction around the hook bait. So even when you've got a little bit of loose feed out there, they're darting in all around it, and hopefully that'll draw them down to that hook bait a bit quicker.
I'm sure it will, mate.